guys, and welcome to another edition of the Market Marauder Show. Be in the market one trade at a time. If you're new to the Market Marauder Show, it's an investment channel, helps you to find best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure that thumbs up. Definitely helps YouTube out and promote the videos. All right, so it was another week of trading on the journey to 1 million. So the goal of this video series is to try to get the account to $1 million. So was a crazy week of trading. There are a couple of plays I want to talk about. Overall, you can see I did consolidate my account quite a bit, so I'm only into three different option trades at the current moment. And you can see my buying power has gone down some, but on the week, Robinhood says that I'm up $216.46. So it was a great week of trading. So overall, definitely like some of the plays that I have made. So let's jump into those. First one though that I want to talk about is that this is real trading. So you may be afraid to start trading. You may say, what are options? What are trading? What is trading in general? Do people really make profits in trading? Yes, you can make profits in trading. So that is the whole goal of this series, is to show you that yes, you can make money trading, and you have to find some plays that you're comfortable with, that you understand, and you don't make money on every single trade. So just bear that in mind. There will be some trades where you lose money. There'll be some trades where you make a lot of money. That's the whole goal of the trading journey. So just bear in mind that there will be some plays that you lose money on, and there'll be some plays that you make money on. Just remember to stay strong in your fundamentals. Don't get too emotional when doing these trades. That is the main thing. So, sometimes there's some trades that you're like, man, I should have waited. Like one that I'm going to talk about later on. I should have waited. I could have made way more money than I did, but you still made a profit. So any profit is a good profit, and that's definitely one of the rules to look at. Also, some of the trades that start to go down, where you're losing quite a bit of money, exit those trades. You don't have to hold on. I know there's a term called diamond hands that people are talking about, that kind of gained popularity in the whole Wall Street bets community, where you hold a stock forever and, terms that it'll go back around. I mean, it works for some, but that's not a trading strategy that I like to use, because diamond hands can really help you to blow up your account like crazy for you holding on to plays forever, especially if they continue to go down. There's no guarantee that they're going to go up, especially how volatile the market is. So let's jump into them. There's quite a bit to go over, so just bear with me. So first on here we have ticker sign SO. So end up buying that one for $20, sold for $10. So that is a $10 loss on SO. So let's go to SO on here, which is Southern. So I bought this one actually quite a while ago, but just to show you all that it was actual real trade, we see right here sold for $10. We don't need to go in here to show the rest of it, but that just shows you I sold it for $10, and I did end up buying that one for uh, $20. So next on here we have fuel cell. So I tried to jump into the fuel cell game when it was going up quite a bit. So fuel cell bought contract for $8, sold it for $11. So let's look at fuel cell, and recently I was asked, are there some cheap options out there? Yes, there are some cheap options out there. These are some of the ones that you can jump into. So cheap options where, this one I bought a contract for $8, sold it for $11, but you can multiply that times however many contracts you have. So I think sometimes people will see, hundreds of dollars contracts and be like, well, I can't afford, to put, you know, $400, $500 down on a contract. Well, there are some out there that are very affordable, like this one was $8. So just multiply $8 times whatever amount of capital you're willing to put in, and then that's how many options you'll have. It'll also be your profits as well. So as a trader, you just have to use your risk management. And just determine, what capital are you willing to allocate towards this trade, and what is your whole goal with this trade. So it was a nice $3 play. Made $3 from that one. So next, let's go to Riot. So Riot on here. bought for 135, sold for 109. So I think that's supposed to be negative $26 on there. Actually, I have that as a plus. Let me double check. I wrote this down on a sheet of paper. So I bought, okay, so I just have that down incorrectly. So I bought for 109 and I sold for 135. So I have that one written on here twice actually. So let me edit that really quick. All right. So Riot on here bought for 109, sold for 135. So let's go to Riot. And so on Riot on here, we can see bought the contract on the 18th for 109, sold it for 135. So that's going to be that $26 profit on that one. So let me save it. I apologize for having it on there twice. So next we have BTBT. So BTBT, I ended up buying this contract for $75 and sold it for $48. So it was a loss of $27. So you do lose some when trading options. So all the profits that I made from the Riot play, I lost that plus some in this BTBT trade. So just bear that in mind. You have some good plays, you have some bad plays. So we see BTBT. That was a pretty bad play. It went. I bought it at 75. Definitely paid way too much for it, and sold it for 48. So lost $27. Next, we have Johnson and Johnson, which I tried to jump into the vaccine news that they were going to be passing the booster shots, and so I could have essentially waited for this one. Just Johnson and Johnson doesn't move as fast as some of the other plays, so I just had to bear that in mind. So on here we can see bought for 258, sold for 168. So you may say, where did this 258 come from? I just combined these together because I sold 4 contracts for $42 each, but I bought 2 for 64 and I bought 2 for 65. So I added those together to make the 258, and then I sold for 168. So that was a minus $90 loss that was taken on that one. So let's go to the next one. On here we have Coin. So Coin, there was actually two different ones. End up buying for 424, sold for 660. So it was a nice $225 win. Then bought for 163 and then sold for 330. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna look at this right. Uh, so Coin actually bought for 435, sold for 660, and then bought for 424 and sold for 330. So that's supposed to be negative on there. All right, so yeah, that's a negative 110. So let's go to Coinbase and let's see what that one was. So that's a negative 110. So I jumped into Coinbase twice, which I should have just stayed in that one time. So we can see on here, bought the one contract for 424, sold for 330. So that was the one that had the loss, and then this is the sold the 2 contracts for 450. So that one is represented by this top one on here. So hold on, let me go back to show. So on here we can see bought this one contract for on the 19th for, well, sold this one contract on the 19th for 210, and then sold these 2 contracts right here for 450. But if we scroll down, we can see where I bought them at. So on here, we can see I bought that one contract for 155, and then bought those 2 contracts for 280. And so I sold one, which we can see right here, the 155. Sold that one right here for 210, and then sold these 2 that I bought for 280 combined, or 140 each, for 225 each. Then I jumped back in, bought this one for 424, and then sold it for 330. So I don't know if I have that written down correctly on here. I do have it written down on a piece of paper correctly, so I will go and update that one. So on here I say 435 sold for 660. So that's the plus 225. But this one I think was written incorrectly. So definitely have to go and update that one. So next we have Nvidia on here. So let's jump into Nvidia. So let's take a sign NVDA. And then bought a contract for 74, sold it for 85, which I have on here. Bought for 74, sold for 85, so I made 11 on that one. And then I have this one right here, this $30 play. So I bought for 30 and sold for 19. And so that's a loss of $11. So Nvidia just went crazy on that one as well. So bought this one, Nvidia for 130 or for 163, and then sold for 30. 130, and then on Nvidia as well, bought for 74, and then sold for 85. So had a negative $33 loss on that one, and then had a positive $11 win on that one. And then uh, you know that'll show down here in the show more section. So next on here we have AAL for American Airlines. Had an $11 loss on that one. Bought that contract for $30 and sold for $19. So let's go to AAL. So here sold for $19. So that's the American Airlines play. And then the next one here we have is MRK for Merck. So these are some of the back to return to normal and vaccine plays that I was trying to do. And so I bought this one for 9, sold it for 6. So it was a loss on that one as well. So that was a loss of $3. And so the next one on here we have as Facebook, bought for 44. I mean, as Ford, not Facebook. It's Ford. Ticker sign F, bought for 44, sold for 38. And so let's go to Ford. I end up jumping in this one right after their rally. They had been rallying all last week, the previous week, so I thought it would kind of do the same this week. This is a one that I had, you see, November 25th, 2020, so I was way out. But the one we're talking about here is this one. Bought for 44, sold for 38. So a loss on that one as well. So we have a $6 loss. Next, we have Tesla, and there are a bunch of different ones that I had in Tesla. I can go to Tesla, show you the current price of Tesla. I currently am in a couple of plays of Tesla since it started rallying, going to 901. I've been in and out of these Tesla plays. One question you may be asking is how am I able to trade so much? I thought there was a PDT rule. So PDT really doesn't apply to the way that I trade, and that's because if you'll see right here, I have like in and out of Tesla on October 2nd, but I'll try to buy one day and then the next day I'll sell. So that's kind of my strategy, and it kind of helps you alleviate the PDT rule. So if you can hold it for at least one day or until the close of one day and then sell it the next day, you really can avoid the PDT and you can trade just about as much as you want. But if you're trying to be in and out of trades, um, you can only do, I think it's 3 or 4, where the PDT rule will get you on Robinhood, which is better than mine. You can't just be blasting off trades all the time, or you will get hit with the PDT rule, and that's not what you want. And so first I had bought a put on Tesla a while ago. Sold that one for $10, bought it for 25, so the $15 loss. We have a buy of $344, and I sold for 440. And then we have a buy of 381, and then sold that one for 528. So definitely a nice little run up win on here. And then with that profit, I end up jumping into this one for 270. So I have 3 contracts that I bought for $90 for 270 with the $1,700 expiration. So Definitely gonna be looking at that one moving forward. Hopefully, we can continue to see Tesla start to go up even more next week. So fingers crossed that they're going to continue to go up. Next up, we have Boeing, ticker sign BA. Bought that one for $10, sold it for $6. I think that's actually yeah, that's actually true. So bought it for 10, sold it for 6, minus $4 on that one. And then we have Facebook. Facebook. Well, let's go to the Boeing first. Let's look at the Boeing one. So this is the current price of Boeing at the time recording, 212.86. And then we go down here, look at the play, sold for $6. So next we have Facebook. So let's go to Facebook. And so here's the Facebook play. We can see bought one contract on the 6 for $38, bought two contracts for 33, and then sold the three contracts for 36 each. So if we see on here for Facebook, 108, 104 is what I bought. That was the total of these three, and then sold all three of those for 108. So a $4 winner on that one. Next we have ticker sign CRSR, which is for Corsair Gaming. And this is the price of Corsair. It's currently around $24.74. We can see I sold the play for 83, just confirming the price on here. But I bought for 87, so lost $4 on that one. Next we have Walmart. So I had a Walmart play that I did, bought for 54, sold for 65. And again, like I said, the PD2 rule didn't apply to me because I held for, some of these I've held for like a week, some of these I've held at least the day before and then sold the day after. So this is the Walmart play, bought for 54, sold for 65. So it was a nice little $11 win on that one. Next we have Alibaba. Um, so let's look at the Alibaba play that was made. So for Alibaba, we scroll down, sold three contracts for 171, and bought those three contracts for 150. So I made 21 bucks on that one. Next we have CEI, which is Camber Energy. And so Camber Energy actually does trade options. It's like $1 for the play, but it does trade options. And so I had a $2 expiration on this, $2 strike on this one with the 4/14/2022 expiration. Bought the two for 190. So that's how much I paid for both those contracts. And then I sold it. I mean, bought it for 178 and then sold for 190. So this is the sale. Sold it for 190. So made a $12 profit on that one. Next we have Peloton, and I end up buying Peloton. So Peloton's currently at $93.45. Ticker sign PTON. So we see bought for 85, sold for 95. And see, this is how I avoided the PDT rule. Bought the 20th, sold the 21st. So if you can wait at least a day, it'll definitely help you to do more trades. And so that was a $10 play on here. Next we have Nike, and so made a little profit on Nike. And so if we get Nike to load here, let's see, we go down here to the bottom. So sold both of my contracts that I bought for 50 that I bought for $53 dollars each. So sold them both for $53 each. Ended up buying both of them for $88. So that was the play on Nike. So bought for 88, sold for 106. So nice $18 play. So one of the ones that we'll talk about on here that I would say is lightning struck with this one, and this is DWAC, which is Digital World Acquisition. I was just literally reading an article the morning this one popped, and so I bought pretty low down here. Wish I would have held on to this one. I bought in like down here essentially on the morning of the 21st. Went to lunch, and it went to like $40. And then I didn't expect in the morning it to go to all the way to 131, but I could have made a crazy amount of money off of this one. And like I said again, any profit is good profit, so I just stick with my fundamentals. Like I say down below, taking 20% profit is good. For me, I was like, you know, any amount of profit on this one is going to be good. I didn't expect it to do what it did. So I bought 4 shares at $12.98, and then I sold those 4 shares at $20 each. I was surprised that it was going to get to $20. I never knew this one was going to go as crazy as it did. Could have made way more money, especially because there were not many people who were able to get into DWAC at 12.98. Most of the people who were able to get in got in at like $30, $40. I was very lucky is to be able to see the play early when I read the article and was able to jump in this one at an average price of $2.98. And so you may say, wow, you could have made tons of money from this one, but it's still a profit at the end of the day. So that's one of the things you'll learn as a trader. You'll learn beginning trading. A profit is a profit. And you want to learn the most you can from your profits and your losses. So, profit, I guess the number one lesson I learned from this one is don't underestimate something that has Trump's name next to it. That's one thing. And then secondly, never underestimate the potential of the market as well. So, seeing this one, uh, I saw it, fluctuating around this $20 range. I never thought, hey, it's going to go all the way up. Sometimes it's good to just hold something for a day. And so if I would have done that and held it for a day instead of day traded this one, which people tell you to do, they'll say, oh, you need to day trade it. So you need to enter it real quick and then exit it, which is what I did. I day traded it. But if I would have held it for at least one day, I could have made, way more money on this one and sold it for 130. And so sometimes, it helps to just hold things for a little longer, even where it is now. I mean, $89. That's still way more than I bought it for now, even if I would have held on to it. So sometimes time is your friend in those situations, and it's better to just wait. But those are just some things you got to learn along the way, and you got to use your judgment on it. So, taking profits. You'll never be looked down upon for taking profits, in my personal opinion, because a profit is a profit. But sometimes, you could make way more profit on something. So that's kind of my reasoning for going and consolidating my portfolio. I mean, compared to all the plays that I was making this week, this is really a lot of stuff to try to keep up with. Looking at all the different stocks and looking for fluctuations, I've gotten my account to a pretty decent amount, in my personal opinion, in the 6 week challenge, and so now I'm in a couple of big plays. My reasoning behind these is because there's such a huge community around Tesla, and Tesla is really looking in at the same as it did when I first made my 40K. So I made my 40K trading options in Tesla right around the time it went to like $900, and people were like, "Oh, it's not going to go to $1,000," and this was right around the time before. This is even before they had their split. So before they had their split, Tesla was in the news. Kathy Woods was on the news every day talking about Tesla. And so this is before they had their 5-to-1 split, and then Tesla just shot up like crazy. So it's kind of eerily similar to that marketplace. There's a huge community around Tesla. I mean, every other day you'll see Reddit post about people, saying don't sell Tesla, don't short Tesla. And so, with a community like that, what is the point of me doing any marketing for it? Their whole YouTube channels around Tesla, talking about all the updates that come out, talking about price points, price analysis. So essentially, it's free marketing. And so I don't have to really do anything to promote Tesla. Amazon, I think with the inflation going on, Amazon is just continue to go crazy. They do have earnings coming up here pretty soon, so definitely that will play to an advantage in my personal point. And then also one thing that I think a lot of traders aren't really looking at is Andy Jassy has been CEO for about, I think, 2 quarters now, and so it's kind of a proving time for him to really tell the direction of the company. So it'll be his first year as CEO during the peak season, which is Amazon's peak season. And so he really has a lot to prove as far as logistics are concerned, running the company. And I think, it may be some new updates on some things to help boost sales. Uh, Amazon always has strategies up their sleeve. I heard Jeff Bezos say when he was CEO, they're always years ahead as far as technology and innovation are concerned. So if it's new to us, then it's not new to them. And so I believe that as the business model. And so I think Amazon's going to do exceedingly and abundantly more now than they have in the past, especially with you know the shortages of a lot of items. So with the shortages of a bunch of these items, the port problem where they can't get things in, prices being jacked up. I think all of these are kind of the perfect storm for Amazon to do crazy amount of sales and business because of FOMO. So I'm basically putting this on uh, consumer FOMO. And so FOMO is fear of missing out if you don't know what that analogy means. So, fear of missing out is basically people are going to be buying more things because they're afraid that they're going to run out. They're not going to be able to buy gifts for their families. And so, I think Amazon is going to explode as far as numbers are concerned. Skills, I only have one share of this or one contract of this, and it's for 2023. So Kathy Woods have been really talking about skills. I think they bought $21 million worth of shares of skills. And if Kathy Woods thinks that a company is good, then I think a company is good. I looked into the company as well, and I kind of like some of the things that they're doing. But overall, if ARK Invest is putting $21 million into buying shares of this company, then they have definitely a team of researchers that are way more advanced than me. As far as going in and doing the due diligence needed to know if this is a good play or not. So sometimes you can use other people's due diligence to help you, plan out your picks in the market. It ain't nothing wrong with that if you trust their due diligence. So the last play on here we have BAC, which I bought for 19, sold for 6, so I had a $13 loss. Overall total profit was $638 on the week. Total loss was $326. So in total made $312.08. So overall, not too bad. A lot of great plays. Had a lot of fun doing this as well. It was very, fun trying to figure out all these plays, especially seeing DWAC. A once in a lifetime lightning play on something like that, and that's what makes trading fun for me. Looking at things like DWAC, seeing people talk about it. I even made a YouTube short about it. Seeing stuff like that in the market. I do believe that definitely helped people have an early Christmas this year. So I saw a lot of traders FOMOing in huge amounts of money. I saw this guy on TikTok. I think he bought like $100,000 worth, and so his average price was $13, so only like 2 cents higher than mine. With the $100,000, I think I did the math on it. I think if he sold at the peak, if he bought at $13, I think he would have made $907,000 from that one play. So that's just a crazy amount of money. And so people may say, are there stocks out there that will do this? These are very rare. That's why people trade options. So DWAC does not happen all the time. And so if you do find something like that, and you start trading it, just look at your fundamentals. Don't be afraid to take profits and don't diamond hands everything. So those are the only rules that I can say. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.